Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this gentle yoga session for the Walk of Hope, Ovarian Cancer, September 13th, 2020. I am honored to have been asked to participate again with some yoga for you. Essentially, what I've got in store for us is a very gentle session of some warm-ups and a few yoga poses. Then I thought for a cool down, I'd like to introduce you to Yin Yoga, which is another type of yoga. It's a passive yoga, but one that I think helps in terms of days where you're just perhaps not feeling strong and you need some quiet. So I just want to introduce you to Yin and see what you think of that. Now, as well, I'll give you your Savasana, which is that final pose where we immerse ourselves and assimilate what we've done. But I have a meditation for us to do at the end. And the reason why I'm leaving it for the end, typically I would put it before the Savasana, but just in case you're not feeling up to doing the meditation. But it's certainly something you can kind of just flash forward through and get to that. So again, I'm very, very honored to have been asked. This is very new for me, doing something online. So I'm definitely out of my comfort zone, as you may be out of your comfort zone doing yoga. But I hope what I've designed for you is something that will get you started. And ultimately, you might really just love this form of conditioning and love, really, to the mind, body, and spirit. So essentially what I wanted to do is I wanted to let you know, in preparation for yoga, some of the most important things that you will need is, of course, a mat. And you can get these just about anywhere. But I would also suggest having, certainly for Yin, access to some towels and blankets. We use a lot of props in Yin yoga. Blocks, but not just for Yin, for our yoga poses as well, to help with modifications. And straps. Now, you can get a yoga strap, or what you can use so many things at home that you can make available to yourself, whether it be a lady's scarf or an old man's tie. Those will work great for straps as well. And this is something that it's just a gardening tool type thing that I picked up at Canadian Tire, and it's great for the knees. So if you have tender knees and you're doing certain poses, like in table, where you need that extra support, the mat just isn't enough. I guess a gardening center for that. So having said that, having some towels and blankets nearby, our first pose, we're going to start off in a Savasana, but with a towel or a blanket underneath our shoulder blades. So fold your towel up or your blanket, not too high, but this is where you get to judge what feels best for you. Place it on your mat, and essentially where you want this towel to lie is you want it at the bottom of your shoulder blades. So you're going to have to adjust a little bit as you bring yourself down. But the idea here is a bit of a heart opener and a chest opener. So position yourself on your towel or blanket and take a few deep breaths. Deep inhale, long, slow, deep exhale. You can certainly sigh that exhale out. Releasing everything back out into the universe. You can turn your shoulders under a bit, back and under, feeling the chest opening. And really feeling that stability and the grounding on your mat. And the safety. This is your space, your sacred space. So we'll just take a few more deep breaths here. Now to come off of your towel or your blanket, gently roll over to one side, the right or left, whichever feels good for you. Bring yourself into a fetal position, and you can come up to a sitting position if that feels good for you, or you can just take, as you're still lying down, take that towel away. We're going to go back into a lying position on the mat. I wanted to play a little bit of music for you, so let's just get that started. Okay, so lying back down onto our mat, let's bring our right knee in towards our chest and just slightly out to the side. You don't want to crunch your ribs. And on the exhale, can you bring that knee a little bit closer? And again. And on your next inhale, release the right leg down. Bring up your left, and the same thing, slightly out to the side, so you're not crunching those ribs. I'll try and keep my eyes open for most of this. I just find this so relaxing, and I seem to draw into myself when I do these warm-ups. Now I'd like you to bring the soles of your feet down onto your mat, and we're just going to do some gentle pelvic tilts. And that's just gently raising your pelvis and then bringing it back down. And in yoga, what we try to do is match our breath to our movement as much as possible. And in this movement, as you tilt up, inhale, and then down, exhale. Feeling that nice, luscious movement in the lower back. Waking it up, getting it ready. Last one. Now let's bring the soles of our feet out to the outer edge of our mat. Knees are still bent. And we're going to just do gentle twists from side to side. Knees together on each side. Feeling those nice little cracks that are needed. And again, if you want to match your breath to this movement, inhale the knees up, exhale the knees down. Once the knees are over to the left, raise your left leg slightly and bring the ankle to the top of the right knee. And then just twisting a little bit into that, keeping your shoulder blades down. Holding that twist for a few breaths. Gently releasing and over to the other side. Right leg up, ankle over on top of the left knee at the top. Nice twist. Breathing into your side ribs on the left. Feeling that breath go to where it's needed. And then gently releasing. Now I'd like you to grab the strap that you have for yourself. Again, it could be a man's tie, it could be a lady's scarf. Here I have a yoga strap. Now what I'd like you to do is put this strap underneath the ball of your foot. Please keep the strap along the ball of the foot, and that keeps you from injuring yourself. And you're going to hold the strap with 2 hands, and I'd like you to inhale your leg up and straighten it to a point that feels good to you, where you start to feel that little stretch. Breathing into the back of your leg. Keeping the foot flexed. Can you bring your leg a little bit closer in towards your chest? Holding that stretch but not your breath. And then gently cross the left hand and then hold on with the right. So you've brought your left hand over to bring both pieces of the strap together. Hold on with your right. Bring your left arm out to the left side. And now gently bring your right leg down, opening it up. Keeping both sits bones on the ground. That's your gauge. You don't want to come off the ground there at all. If you are, you want to back out a bit. But bring your leg to a point that feels comfortable for you. Feel the stretch. Lift up a bit if you can, and breathe. Now bring your right leg up to the starting position. Now cross over again. Bring your left hand onto the strap. Right arm down. And we're going to bring our right leg over to the left. Essentially what's called stacking the hips. So essentially here the hips are in line. Holding that for a couple of breaths. And now gently bringing the left leg up. Sorry, right leg. Bend at the knee. Grab on with both hands and bring the knee in towards the armpit. Inhale the leg up and gently allow your leg to come back down to the mat. Release the strap and we're going to move on to the left leg. Same idea, strap always around the ball of the foot. 2 hands and bring that leg closer to your chest on an exhale. Foot flexed. Heel pushing up towards the ceiling. Bring the right hand over to the left. Grab on with the left hand. Right arm down. And open the left leg up to the left. Straighten up the leg. Bring that right arm and hand up. Grab onto the strap with the right hand. And now we're going to stack our hips. Inhale up. Hold on now with 2 hands. Bend at the knee towards the armpit. Raise the leg and gently guide the leg down with the strap in your hands, holding on to the strap. Release the strap and we're going to now come up into a table position. So again, going into a fetal position on either side, or you could rock yourself up as well. Depending on how you're feeling at a certain, any given moment, you can rock yourself up or gently go over into the fetal position. So in a table, what we want to do here is we want to make sure that all of the finger pads are on the mat, our wrists are below our shoulders, and our knees are below our hips and our hip distance apart. So this is called neutral table, and we're going to do what's called a cat-cow. You've probably heard of this in yoga. And essentially what that is we're on a cow, we gently bring our chest forward, we raise our neck and head and try to look up to the ceiling. And then on the cat, we come back, we arch our back, chin in towards the shoulder. Oh, sorry, the collarbone. And cow. And matching the breath to this movement. The cow would be an inhale. Cat is an exhale. Last one. And then we come back to neutral table. Let's just tap our feet on the mat a little bit, wake them up. And we're going to do what's called a child's pose. Now you can do a wide-legged child's pose or one where your knees are closer together. I like the wide-legged child's pose where the knees are out towards the sides of the mat. Big toes are together. And then we bring our glutes down to our heels. And we try to have our buttocks touching our heels as much as possible. If you don't get there today, that's okay. That's perfectly okay. And then our arms are stretched out, and we try to bring our forehead down to the mat. But if that's not comfortable for you, there's a few modifications here. You can simply put your forehead on top of your two fists and hold like that. Or you can use a block to bring your forehead down. Now here, what you can do is your arms can be outstretched, where you're getting a bit more of activation and exertion into the shoulders as well. But sometimes we don't need that. Sometimes that's not working for us. So we can go into more of a restorative child's pose. And that's simply bringing the hands back along the legs. Taking a couple breaths here. And then on an inhale, gently rising up. Now we're going to come to our first down dog. I'm sure you've heard that term before. So from a child's pose, getting into a down dog, essentially we can keep, if our hands are outstretched, it's simple to do it this way. We would gently rise up and come back almost into a table, bring our knees to hip distance apart, tuck our toes, and then we rise up. We raise the knees, lifting our hips up, bringing our heels up and back and down. It's not necessary that they touch the mat. And then we can walk our dog, which is alternating toes, heels down. Here we want to have our shoulders back and down, hips high, finger pads on the ground, feeling that nice connection. And then let's just raise up again and pushing back on our heels. There's our down dog. Keeping our ears parallel to our arms. Now let's go back down onto our knees. And let's bring our left leg up through our hands, and then raise our right knee. And this is a low lunge that we're in. Pushing the heel back, keeping that right leg activated. Left knee over the ankle, the left ankle. There's our lunge on that side. Let's bring our knee down. Left leg back, and we're going to do the same on the right. So bring the leg up towards the middle of the hands, closer to the right side. Right knee over the right ankle. Tuck the toes on the left side at the back, and raise the left knee and push out at the heel. Now we're doing the lunge on that side. This is a very strengthening exercise here. And keeping the core engaged at all times helps with the stability of every pose in yoga. So let's drop that left knee down. And coming back to our table, our foundational table. And here we can just gently move around any type of organic movement that feels good for you. And we're going to be coming up to a standing pose now, doing our mountain. So to do that, we can gently tuck our toes, bring our hands close, and rise up gently. Coming almost to a forward fold here, knees bent. So rising up gently, vertebra upon vertebra, feeling the activation in the legs, your grounding stability, slight back bend, luscious, and then coming down into prayer position. Let's walk to the top of our mat, and I'm going to introduce you to, well actually not to the top of our mat yet, I want to introduce you to a mountain pose. So with the mountain pose, essentially what we're doing here is we can come back to our mountain pose anytime. Same with our child's pose. It offers some regrounding, stability, alignment, refinement, especially when we're balancing poses. Come back to your mountain, find that alignment, and then you can, either get back into a pose or try a pose. So here we want our feet hip distance apart, and you can rock gently back and forth on your toes, your heels. And then we ground. In yoga, we ground from the floor up. So start to feel that grounding and activation happening in the feet, the calves. Activate the thighs, the core. Roll the shoulders back. Even the hands are active. The palms can be forward, or you can turn them in towards your legs. And then here the alignment is, try to visualize your ears in line to your ankles. So directly over your ankles. And with that, the whole body kind of falls into that nice alignment. This is your mountain, your place of stability. Now from our mountain, we're going to turn to the top of our mat, and I want to show you a sun salutation. So in yoga, a sun salutation is an overall body warm-up, and it's paying reverence to the sun, the energy that we're given every day. We rise our hands up and back to a slight back bend. If you can do that, if it's feeling good for you, you can come down through prayer position into a fold. Keeping your knees always not straight, not tight. Kind of that athletic bend, micro bend. Bring the head down close to the knees if that's doable for you today. Forward fold. And then we come into a half lift, which is really neutralizing the back. That's the purpose of the half lift. Bring the palms down onto the mat. And let's bring our left leg back. Gently stabilize, feel that your toes really grounding there, your hands, finger pads, and now the right leg back. And we're into what's called a high plank. Now coming out of a high plank into what's called chaturanga, and that, let's go drop to our knees. And then just uncurl the toes and bring ourselves down slowly. And we'll rise up to cobra. Elbows towards the ribs. Cobra down. Now let's curl those toes again and rise up on our knees. And we're coming back into down dog. So rise the hips, heels down. Now to come out of down dog, we can simply just walk to the top of our mat. Then we'll do our half lift again. Forward fold. And then we rise up gently, stacking one vertebra at a time. Gentle back bend. And to Anjali Mudra. We've officially done half a sun salutation. Now we'll go on the other side. Forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Palms down. Right leg back, exhale. Left leg into a high plank. Now again, as I showed you, you can gently come down onto your knees into a cobra. Or if you wanted to try and challenge yourself, almost a reverse push-up. Into cobra. Now into our down dog. Curl those toes. Rise up those hips. Take the time to stabilize your feet. And then down dog. As I mentioned, you can simply walk to the top of your mat, or if you're feeling up to it, you want to try a bit of a challenge, concentrate here and focus. Take a big inhale, and on that big exhale, bring that foot up towards the middle of your hands again. Step up the other foot, half lift, forward fold, and all the way up again. Gentle back bend, prayer position.